You are listening to 106.1 KURE Fm, and it's about 1 o'clock. So you know what time it is? Greetings. It is I, Des Dinero, your host for this journey through the strange universe of sounds and vibrations. How's everybody feeling out there? It's a beautiful day. So, there was a tragic story out of Mexico this week with 9 American women and children being slaughtered by rapacious thugs as they traveled down a highway through the state of Sonora. And our president has offered military assistance to Mexico, which they have kindly declined. But it's a shame, that the tragic death of Americans has brought this much media attention to the situation of our southern neighbors. This so-called war on drugs has cost a lot of lives in Mexico. The country has seen over 300,000 homicides since anti-drug campaigns began in 2006. Our country has seen plenty of gang violence that's been drug-related as well, though, but definitely not as much as Mexico. And then what about the overdoses that take place in this nation? I think over 70,000 drug ODs occurred in the United States. Overdose deaths, 70,000 in 2017. Americans, we are the world's biggest consumers of drugs, and although we don't all OD, we die spiritually. And we are just as guilty, and the blood is in our hands. If it's not just from the support of failed drug policies, this war cannot be won by force alone. Although I do believe there should be some type of international force that can operate worldwide, regardless of one's sovereignty. Mexico alone, way too much corruption to rely on their law enforcement. But the fact is that in the USA, if we would medicalize all drugs and fight it as a health issue, it could stop the black market that these cartels control overnight. And this doesn't mean that we are advocating drug usage. It's not only a health problem, but a spiritual problem. And the religious institutions on earth have failed to properly promote the word of God to mankind. Some religionists come off as prudish and judgmental when it comes to people with addictions, basically giving no explanations, just saying, oh, it is forbidden. Drug usage, yes, is forbidden in all faiths, but it's ironic that even these cartel traffickers pray to God to be successful in crossing their loads through the desert. This war is causing multiple problems on earth. Whether it's refugees fleeing the violence, or crime from thieves supplying their habits, we need to try something new. If we only understood or believed how it affected our spirit, maybe less and less would become addicted. Within my faith, the Baha'i faith, the Master Abdul Baha has stated in one of his tablets concerning opium, but which I think can be interpreted as any drug that is mind-altering and destructive to the body. In the tablet it states, the user, the buyer, and the seller are all deprived of the bounty and grace of God. Also as wise warning towards using. From another tablet, may God protect all against the perpetration of an act so hideous as this, an act which layeth it ruins the very foundation of what it is to be human, and which causeth the user to be dispossessed forever and ever. For opium fasteneth on the soul, so that The user's conscience dieth. His mind is blotted away. His perceptions are eroded. It turneth the living into the dead. It quencheth the natural heat. Very powerful statements. I wonder how much longer humanity can ignore the cause of God. But we need to be loving and understanding in all the people's struggles and look at this problem as a mental medical health issue. You know, with better scientific understanding of plant-based medicine, some which are classified as drugs, we could have healing of mind, body, and spirit. But it's wild. Some are awaiting a resurrection of the dead, while there's so many dead in spirit already roaming the earth. Welcome to the Apocalypto hour. Let's get it rocking with a little MIA.
Freedom, item, meet 'em, where's your read 'em? This one needs a brand new read 'em. Weed and the key, weed and the key into life. Let's weed 'em, smartphones, don't beat 'em. Borders, what's up with that? Politics, what's up with that? Police shots, what's up with that? Identities, what's up with that? Your privilege, what's up with that? Work people, what's up with that? Vote people, what's up with that? The realness, what's up with that? The new world, what's up with that? I'm gonna keep up on all that. Guns close doors to the system, yeah. When we say we're not with them, we're solid and we don't need to kick them. This is north, south, east and western. Yeah, guns close doors to the system, yeah. When we say we're not with them, we're solid and we don't need to kick them. This is north, south, east and western. Queen, what's up with that? Killing it, what's up with that? Slaying it, what's up with that? You goals, what's up with that? Being Bay, what's up with that? Making money, what's up with that? Breaking in the net, what's up with that? Love wins, what's up with that? Living it, what's up with that? Being lit, what's up with that? Guns close doors to the system, yeah. We say we're not with them. We're solid and we don't need to kick them. This is north, south, east and western. Yeah, guns close doors to the system, yeah. We're not with them. We're solid and we don't need to kick them. This is north, south, east and western. We representing peace, seven players on the anthem. We're talking in our sleep, that's the listen on the system. We're sitting on the stoop, where we get our scoop. This is how we keep it cool and this is how we do. We representing peace, seven players on the anthem. We're talking in our sleep, that's the listen on the system. We're sitting on the stoop, where we get our scoop. This is how we keep it cool and this is how we do. Eagles, what's up with that? Your values, what's up with
Apocalypto Hour, KURE Fm 106.1. Little Doors remix. 'Cause the strange days are upon us. Oh, Brother Jim, if you could only see the world today. Strange days indeed.
The mind is its own place, and in itself can make a heaven of hell, hell of heaven.
Hear colors, taste visions, see through synesthesia, smell sounds, touch rhythms, cellular amnesia, rapture through synaptic seizure, worldly pain, galactic leisure, five senses, all the actors in the nervous system, theta, reader of minds, cedar of lineal lines, sewn in, garden of glands, pineal secrete serotonin, hone in on the subatomic singular sand grain on the beach, dark star in the cosmos beyond light's reach, look into the eyes of the cyclops set, blazing star in the dark companion, brave with stark abandon, place incisions along your spine with precision, mystery of Mars, cause phantom asteroid collision, astral projection, smashed all detection past the inspection, and I revealed the weapon. Only so much one can do to lead the right direction. After that it's up to you, carriers spreading the infection.
Intone the deity's bones, standing erect in a square, prayer rugs, the holy land at Tamarack, shoe in the air, clear buzz, commander black and serpent with working tools I build with, a staff and 2 rows to pour those of mathing, genealogy, cast of royalty, cast a circle around me, protect the energy, love, spread my trials, while I'm on trial, permeate the magistrates, on straight across the waist, in the case my fate was already laced with rituals and O's, take the light down my 33 vertebrae to regenerate, create, fornicate, I'm a vessel, yes sir, separate the blazing star, fire and desire enters what does a yummy yard, and raise gas, a kundalini tone, bring the old ancestor home, sliding down a rainbow to a pot of gold, the mold, the armor leg and leg of armor head, the only way to raise the dead, wash my ram head with Nubian habitats, lemongrass and amethyst, incense, 7 African spirits to cleanse my nostril with and stimulate my brain to bliss, visions is crisp and clear.
There are 100 steps on the ladder of consciousness between being fully alert and being dead. A descending grayscale, like the depths of an ocean no one has explored. It's in those depths, those murky depths.
Etheric liquid ejaculated from my genitals until the chemicals start to emerge from my seminal vessel. Wrestle with Jacob, hip bone displaced, black dust mistaken for makeup. Up my 33 spinal nerves to hit the 12 convolutions in my brain. Forms from my root chakra moves up, forming a flame. It's a fire in my solar plex. 7 steps rotate counterclockwise from each other's speed prorates. Crystallize my melanin and spirit color black. Sits in the dark, pluck a card. It's a perfect match. Dispatch the blood of the 24 shield. Round the throne, chatting tones disappear when you look. Oh, dropped into an ocean when the moon blooms. A butterfly retina begins to change. Open up my colored eyes. Left eye red, right eye green. Half of me is Iblis, half is Elohim.
The atom is the building block in the illusion of Maya. A trillion lines of code in the program called Gaia. Double-headed dragon chromosomes multiplier. Billion times a million rhymes inspired by lost children. Find the sacrifice of willing kind that others had to die for. Soar above the eyesores and find more behind doors of chemical ecstasy. Moon cup of Amrita, a mortal island of jewels in the Bhagavad Gita. Extra-mental reality, quasi-anthropomorphic. Twisted prose, the yogi's pose, limbs all contorted. Look so distorted as we poured the elixir of 6 or 9, the sickest kind of wine in the mixture. Touched dread by bloodshed, oxidized and rusty. Must be the mystery of 5 or 2 plus 3. Mental abolitionist precision slips, division rips, the prism splits, the black light. Act right or get clipped.
What we're experiencing right now could be just in your mind. If we can create this world with what we imagine, why not the next? You imagined that.
Apocalypto hour. Absol.
Yo.
Illuminate.
Yo. Back when I first grabbed that pen, I told myself I was gonna win. And I ain't no win, but it was gonna end. Dup happening, I won't end. So you can take your top 5 list, dead or alive, and put me after the M. I'm a fucking genius, gripping my living this life. You can't tell me nothing, still ain't really got no money. Fucking right, I'm all about that rail. This ain't no motion picture. I tell you how that feel. Even when the odds against you, they wanna see me wear polo drawers, put 2 chains on, and that ain't wrong, but that ain't me. I go too hard on me, clothes and jewelry to stand out. Black lips with his hair wild, too proud, killing it since Cam A. Oh boy, I'm the man now. TDE, put the money in my hand, ain't free. Spin this quicksand, I won't sink. Put the pistol in my hand, and I won't think. Rest in peace, you just made room for the next to be. I never been afraid to say what I wanna say when I wanna say it. Okay then. Furthermore, we do this for y'all. Rap is stressing, but it pays great. That is until you lose a pill when your release date. Get date rate, stay safe. Hold your head, I got 2 fish and a loaf of bread. Feed the people, food for thought, cause we all equal. Who would thought? They wanna share my life. 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 They wanna share my life.
All my shine, I give you the light.
now I feel like I'm run laps around Jay-Z. Now I ain't seen nothing this nasty. Big and Pot got it coming when I pass too. You got the mic, I ain't the one you wanna pass to. My say my new past due. I pay dues, even got that tattooed. High power, run another plateau. I know you know we need a few plaques too. The brand new with an attitude. Poppin', Compton, Timbuktu. I might even sell my new for $10 too. Too ill when I jot these words. True ill when I shock the world. I know life's when you know life's then that's not your girl. Cold. I'm hot though, like cold get Absol. This is a shift in paradigm. I remember when I couldn't spare a dime. Now I step in with a paradigm. On peas, y'all know me. Flow like water, Admiralty. The best author ever to breathe. And as we proceed to follow these dreams, I ain't losing no sleep. No, on the no dose, and it's no, if it's no dough. So high, but I'm so low. 2 cups and I sip slow. Taking my time, we don't just shine, we illuminate the whole show. Now let's go. They wanna share my light. 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 They wanna share my light.
All my shine, I give you the light. You can have all my shine, I give you the light. Time and time I drop line for line, but only time will tell. If I ever go Caliban and cop 39s and cock back and kill. See, the truth is, they wanna know how close me, Dre, and Snoop is. So how the shoe fits when they choose this to be Tupac. But truth, I give to botch. Expectations of critics hating. I just put moms on vacation. You never know my new location. It's across nations. Court cases get thrown out. So tell a king be thrown now. I am ruler. I am highness, the prince of Munda. I am the, like what the prune does. Black on black tint, like King the Kunta. Black is back, the King the Kunta. Black on black crime, resent the shooter. Black, I attend the future. Racks on racks, I don't rap on tracks, but out my A game. So please don't ask me about no pressure. Yeah, the grip on my fingertip, I can hold this coast together.
They wanna share my light. 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 They wanna share my light.
All my shine, I give you the light. You can have all my shine, I give you the light.
KURE FM 106.1. That was Absol featuring Kendrick Lamar. Illuminate.
Music is frequency programming. Music is frequency. What frequency are you being fed? If I play with those frequencies, right, I can target certain parts of the mind, target the frequency to go to certain parts of the mind, and I can literally, if I want you to astral project, or if I want you to go to sleep, or if I want you to go into a meditative state, I can make my music do that.
The brain processes information electrically. It communicates with the cellular structure electrically, and it operates within a certain band of frequency. If you can broadcast frequencies carrying information, this technology has long been known, carrying information and perceptions within the frequency that the brain decodes information, the brain will decode those frequencies and will have those perceptions. You can externally influence people's perceptions externally by broadcasting these frequencies that we interact with, because we are antenna.
The sad reality is that where we now play our music is in A440. Where did that come from? It used to be 417. A440 came in with the Roman Catholic Church. They suppressed the frequencies. They lost somehow the 152 of the best Gregorian chants, including the hymn to St. John the Baptist, which we've now recovered. That particular hymn was what triggered Dr. Palaio's investigation, looking for those frequencies of vibration by which the music was played. It was known as the most uplifting hymn of all the ages, the most spiritually uplifting hymn. Hymn to St. John the Baptist. It was played to 6 tones. These are those 6 tones. These are those 6 frequencies. And so the A440 is what now is the standard tuning. If you go A439, you're closer to one of the Creator's tones. If you go A441, you're closer to one of the Creator's original tones. That's how precisely it has been manipulated. To do what? To shut down the 95% of your brain, particularly the right brain that operates the heart-mind to the divine human community.
Some decades ago, there was a guy who worked out the frequencies of different emotional states. This is long ago. I mean, it's very, very sophisticated now. So every thought, every emotional response is a frequency. It generates a frequency, and it is of itself a frequency. Hate is a frequency, and it's different to love. You know, when you are in a room and there's lots of aggression and conflict and hatred, you feel it. What do people say? Oh God, you can cut the atmosphere with a knife in there. That is because the frequencies of hate and conflict have been so generated, they have changed the electromagnetic field of the room.
When you go driving your car and your channel on the radio is tuned to a station and you're grooving to the music, you love that music. As you get farther and farther away from the broadcasting tower, that music gets static. You start to lose the signal from the KURE channel, broadcast, and it gets staticky. When it gets staticky, you get a little annoyed. But you want to listen to it. You really have a heart for that music, so you continue to listen to it for another 10, 15 miles, and suddenly it becomes so annoying that you just get disgusted, you go, ah, and you shut it off. And if you continue to listen to it, you get sick. That's what we're talking about here. Except you don't even know that you've been listening to the static your whole life. You don't even know what the true resonant frequency is because it has been kept.
Now, of course, to really be effective, we need to use the proper words and phrases, scientifically selected. But that gives you the basic idea. We embed messages just below the threshold of perception, so they can go directly into the subconscious.
They can play across a community these frequencies without anyone knowing, and it starts to have an effect, and it starts to build rage, it starts to build anger, and people might not realize why they're feeling it, but they start to feel it. And then what they do is they trigger that with an event. Maybe some guy is attacked by the police or something, or somebody's arrested for something they didn't commit, and now there's the trigger. The blue touch paper's been lit of this manufactured frequency-driven rage, and you have mass riots and what have you, and people do things that they wouldn't normally do.
So in other words, the master composer, master conductor of the Universal Orchestra is singing love songs in 5/8, uplifting everything simultaneously. And we're the only species out of tune and accepting static for the clear channel.
Do you know that the American military, they've admitted this. They have technology that fires frequencies at the enemy that basically breaks the enemy's spirit, so they give up and put their weapons down. This is the technology we're dealing with.
Apocalypto hour. Let us take a moonlight ride with Isaac Chambers. Tune the frequency to your heart.
Feel my body won't go back, no. Celestial bodies breathe down on me. Oh, I'm hot and cold and hot and bothered. got something to prove. Do ya? Yeah, well then wait, where stands to get mad out here? Yeah. This alright, this alright, this alright, this alright. The light and the shade. Two steps forward, one step back. 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 Feel my body won't come back. No, no, no. I go again, I'm going on out of my way. Oh, just what set this thing off here in the first place? I burn at both ends and in time there won't be nothing left of me. Wait and see, yeah. Well, for all that I know, I might have double backed around the ground, similar, familiar, yeah. Climb to a bird's eye height for a bird's eye sight. Retrace my steps with every step I get further, yet I can't escape. Now, don't hesitate now to get your bad habits. Go out and grab it, son, till the morning comes. Repetition. Two steps forward, one step back. 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 Feel my body won't go back, no. Two steps forward, one step back. Two steps, yeah, yeah. Two steps forward, one step back. 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 I feel my body won't go back, no.
KURE FM 106.1. I am Des Dinero, and it is time for Revelations of the Apocalypse 2019. Mexico. At least 6 children and 3 women living in a faith-based community of U.S.-Mexican dual citizens were shot to death Monday in the northern part of the country, and 6 more children were wounded and 1 missing after their convoy came under fire during a brazen daylight ambush believed to have been carried out by gunmen affiliated with the cartels. Alfonso Durazo, Mexico's top security official, confirmed the 6 deaths, adding that 6 more children were wounded in the attack, with 5 transferred to hospitals in Phoenix, Arizona. Relatives said the victims live in the La Mora religious community in northern Mexico, a decades-old settlement in the Sonora state, founded as part of an offshoot of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints around 70 miles south of Douglas, Arizona. They said the group was attacked while traveling in a convoy of 3 SUVs. Durazo said the gunmen may have mistaken the SUV convoy for rival gangs. while family members of the victims have said that they were targeted. Off to Iran. Iran will begin injecting gas into centrifuges used to enrich uranium at its underground Fordo facility on Wednesday, rolling back another commitment under a 2015 nuclear deal. President Hassan Rouhani said the step was reversible if world powers party to the accord upheld their commitments. Enriched uranium can be used to make reactor fuel, but also nuclear weapons. This is the fourth step taken by Iran since July in response to U.S. sanctions reinstated by President Donald Trump. Under the accord, Iran agreed to limit its sensitive nuclear activities and allow in international inspectors in return for the lifting of crippling economic sanctions. Mr. Trump abandoned its last year because he wanted to force Iran to negotiate a new agreement that would place indefinite curbs on its nuclear program and also halt its development of ballistic missiles, but Iran has so far refused. Also from Iran, the USCIRF supports sanctions on Iranian official responsible for Baha'i persecution. The U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom welcomed today's announcement that the United States Treasury has sanctioned Mohammadi Golpaigani for directing the regime's systematic blocking of social and economic progress of the Baha'i community, a religious minority group in Iran. This includes expelling members of the Baha'i faith from universities and denying them employment. This is the first time the Treasury Department has sanctioned an individual specifically for his role in orchestrating the persecution of Baha'is in Iran. As reported in USCIRF's 2019 annual report in the chapter about Iran, Iran's government considers the Baha'i faith a heretical deviant sect whose members are de facto apostates. As reported by the Baha'i international community in 1991, Mohammad Golpaigani issued a confidential memorandum to Ayatollah Ali Khamenei outlining a plan for the systematic persecutions of Baha'is in Iran, including expelling them from universities, destroying their cultural roots, and denying them employment and positions of influence. He then collaborated with the Ayatollah to ensure the actualization of the plan. Since 2010, USCIRF has recommended sanctioning individuals specifically for their role in violating religious freedom. Today's announcement marks one of the United States government's most explicit designations on this basis to date. Now off to the Philippines. The Vice President of the Philippines on Wednesday accepted President Rodrigo Duterte's offer of a lead role in his brutal war on drugs, even though she expected her political rival's administration would try to thwart her progress. The appointment followed criticism by Leni Robredo in an interview with Reuters, which angered Duterte, whose drugs crackdown has killed thousands and prompted activists to call for international intervention. Ms. Robredo, the vice president and Mr. Duterte's political rival, said she would use her power to stop the killing of innocent people and hold authorities to account. A presidential spokesperson said the appointment honored a former pledge, but Ms. Robredo's supporters warned she could be made a scapegoat. The president knows what my position is on the drug war, she told reporters on Wednesday. If he thinks that in my accepting this offer I will become silent, he is mistaken. After his election in 2016, President Rodrigo Duterte launched a hardline campaign against illegal drug personalities, claiming that the Philippines has become a narco state. The president called on members of the public to kill drug addicts and dealers, and said he would offer a bounty to police for killing suspected users and sellers of narcotics. Since the campaign began, at least 6,600 dealers or users have been killed, according to police. But some activists have put this figure closer to 27,000. Human rights groups allege that many of the killings amount to summary executions. Both the UN and the International Criminal Court are examining allegations of extrajudicial killings, arbitrary arrests, and enforced disappearances. Revelations, the Apocalypse. I think this calls for a little surge. May we have a surge of freedom and peace throughout the earth. KURE FM 106.1.
Swimming in theocracy, we are far from holy, the wholeness of one. Repeat after me. We lost the key of sight, now blind. We fear in flight. We are far from love, but silence is golden. Please observe. Fighting your empire, defending your vampires far away. We're going to myself in time, no time to die or live. No structures of a pyramid, no train, horses to ride. Surmise my position, my words define. Fighting your empire, defending your vampires far away. We're going to fall. Bombing your ignorance, defeating your insolence far away. We're going to fall. We're going to fall. We go forward, we go backward, living, dying, we're dying, we're living, we're living, we're dying, we're crying, we're singing, we're living, we're breathing, we're dying, singing, fighting your empires, defending your vampires far away. We're going to fall. Bombing your ignorance, defeating your insolence far away. We're going to fall. We're going to fall.
Apocalypto Hour, KURE FM. Let's take it back to the early 90s with Nas off his first album, Illmatic.
Yeah, straight out the dungeons of rap, where fake don't make it back.
Let's put everybody in that New York state of mind.
Rappers are monkey flipping with the funky rhythm I be kicking. Musician, inflicting composition of pain. I'm like Scarface sniffing, holding an M16. See with the pen I'm extreme. Now bullet holes left in my peak holes. I'm suited up with street clothes. Hand me a 9 and out defeat foes. Y'all know my stilo with or without the airplay. I keep some E and J sitting bent up in the stairway, or either on the corner betting grants with the CeeLo champs. Laughing at bass heads, trying to sell some broken amps. G-packs get off quick forever. Talk, reminiscing about the last time the task force flipped. Be running through the block shooting. Time to start the revolution. Catch a body head for Houston. Once they caught us off guard, the Mac 10 was in the grass, and I ran like a cheetah with thoughts of an assassin. Picked the Mac up, told brothers back up. The Mac spit, lead was hitting. One ran, I made a backflip. Heard a few chicks scream, my arm shook, couldn't look. Gave another squeeze, heard it click. Yo, my shit is stuck. Tried to cock it, it wouldn't shoot. Now I'm in danger. Finally pulled it back and saw 3 bullets caught up in the chamber. So now I'm jetting to the building lobby, and it was full of children. Probably couldn't see as high as I be. It's like the game ain't the same. Got young and pulling the triggers, bringing fame to their name and claim some corners. Cruise without guns or corners. In broad daylight, stick up kids, they run up on us. 4-5s and gauges, max and facts, same to catch you back to back. Catching your cracks in black, Yo, is a snitch on the block getting it's not. So hold your stash till the coke price drop. I know this crackhead who says she gotta smoke nice rock. And if it's good, you bring your customers and measuring plots. But yo, you gotta slide on a vacation. Inside information keeps logs as a racing and they wild spacing. It drops deep as it does in my breath. I never sleep, cause sleep is the cousin of death. Beyond the walls of intelligence, life is defined. I think of crime when I'm in a New York state of mind. State of mind. Your state of mind. Your state of mind. Your state of mind. Your state of mind. Having dreams that I'm a gangster. Drinking Moet's, holding texts, making sure the cash came correct. Then I step investments and stock, sewing up the blocks to sell rocks, winning gunfights with mega cops. But just a walking with his finger on the trigger, make enough figures until my pockets get bigger. I ain't the type of brother made for you to start testing. Give me a Smith & Wesson, I have knives undressing. Thinking of cash flow, Buddha and shelter. Whenever frustrated, I'm a hijack Delta and the PJs. My blend tape plays, bullets and strays. Young is grades, each block is like a maze full of black rats trapped. Plus the album is packed. From what I hear in all the stories, when my peoples come back black, I'm living where the nights is jet black. The fiends fight to get crack, I just max. I dream I can sit back and lamp like Capone with drug strips on. All the legal luxury life rings flooded with stones. Homes, I got so many rhymes, I don't think I'm too sane. Life is parallel to hell, but I must maintain it be prosperous. Though we live dangerous, cops could just arrest me, blaming us for held like hostages. It's only right that I was born to use mics, and the stuff that I write is even tougher than I'm taking rappers to a new plateau through rap slow. My rhyming is a vitamin, hell without a capsule. The smooth criminal on beat breaks. Never put me in your box if needs tape. The city never sleeps, full of villains and creeps. That's where I learned to do my hustle, had to scuffle with freaks. I'm an addict for sneakers, 20s a Buddha and with beepers. In the streets I could reach her, about blunts I teach her. Inhale deep like the words of my breath. I never sleep, cause sleep is the cousin of death. I lay puzzle as I backtrack to earlier times. Nothing's equivalent to the New York state of mind. State of mind. Your state of mind. Your state of mind. Your state of mind. Your state of mind.
Apocalypto hour.
In terms of power, where the power is, who's shaping the condition of our lives, who determines the quality of the air we breathe, the food we eat, the water we drink, the kind of jobs we can have, the images we have to deal with and such.
If I can sing this song without you, maybe all is well. If we can sing this song without you, we don't need your world.
This is my letter to the 1%.
If I can sing this song without you, maybe all is well. If we can sing this song without you, we don't need your world.
Power to those who read bell hooks, power to those who sell books, power to those who know how the inside of a cell looks. All those feeling helpless, forgotten or discarded. Power to the strange fruit you thought was rotten in the garden. Power to those sitting alone, seeking solace in the calmness. Power to those feeling stained, know your tomorrow isn't tarnished. Power to those who sweep the streets with more knowledge than PhDs. Power to those who keep their keys, return as promised, please believe. Power to those that suffer in silence, those it hurts to hear. Power to those that hold their ground, power to those that persevere. Power to those that love humanity more than they love style. Power to immigrants, probably raising Donald Trump's child. Power to the blind, who can't imagine what sight is. Those staring at the moon and all those working night shifts. Power to the readers, the writers, the illiterate. Power to those that struggle to decolonize their syllabus. Power to the shy ones always struggle to make friends on the half of humanity worth less than 8 men. Power to those that risk their life to dig the coltan from the ground for the mic I'm spitting on and the phone you're holding now. Power to those that built the stadium they're playing in. Power to those that mowed the grass and stitched the ball that they're playing with. Power to every rapper that doesn't rap about killing. Power to the builders who build buildings that outlive them.
If I can sing this song without you, maybe all is well. If we can sing this song without you, we don't need your
Power to the slaves of ancient Greece that never had the right to vote. Democracy dead like Gary Webb when they import it like it's coke. Power to those that right to prison. Power to those writing home. Power to those writing poems. Power to those that died alone. Power to Curtis Mayfield. Power to Ronald Isley. Power to the fishermen that were forced into piracy. Power to every person that is working in a library. Power to every nurse that we turn to in our times of need. Power to the unions and the miners that you're punished. Power to those that drive the buses and those that collect the rubbish. Power to the youth desiring the truth. Power to every rapper that is dying for a fire in the booth. For those that lost limbs to King Leopold's quota and those risking their lives for the P&O to Dover. Power to union leaders murdered by... Power to victims of this globalized Cosa Nostra. Power to those dying on the shores and the borders. Power to human beings that were rendered fauna and flora. Power to those that cleaned up after the stage show and carnival goers still haunted by Kelso Cold Cranes. Goes power to Kevin Carter. His picture taunts us ever after. So many questions never answered. Remember the last words of Abdel Muhsin السعدون الأمة تنتظر الخدمة الإنجليز لا يوافقون. Power to El Jawahiri and his rebellions. They killed his brother Ja'far and he cursed the rotten Tensians. Enlightened despots pursuing tactics Machiavellian. Chinese steel preceded Europe a millennium. Think about it. Printed press half a millennium. Never get close. Power to Ken Loach and every volunteer in Lesbos. Cuban doctor sent to Sri Lanka for the tsunami. Power to those that cleaned up after the Bullinden parties.
If I can sing this song without you, maybe all is well. If we can sing this song without you, we don't need your world.
Kids knowing Apple products before they know what an apple is. Forgotten like passengers on the USS Indianapolis. Dying days before they could see what little boys damage did on the precipice of fascism. Our passiveness is cancerous. Power to those strong enough to dream. Power to those that chose not to be a cog in the machine. Power to those that love first and hate never. Power to those that sleep on the streets through grey weather. Power to Aziz Ali, Bone Thugs and Harmony. Power to Norman Baker, David Kelly's owner artery. Power to the genocided population of Tasmania. The internet descends to Trump-tastic fantasia. Let them try quote this. You'll never find a better diagnosis than collective psychosis. It's getting quite hopeless, but hope is all we have. Trying to cultivate the positive, not focus on the bad. But the globe's under attack. The obnoxious rage of a fake intellectual. Amazing grace in the age of the spectacle. Not the first time they found a race is selectable to raise to the pedestal and desecrate the place that translated the decimal. I don't want to tempt fate. Power to corpse washers like Salvador Allende. Power to language learners, Bernie Sanders fans to flag burners. One man's inertia is another man's purpose. In the utopia of song, we are victorious, but the bittersweet reality's not this glorious. Power to Coltrane watching Malcolm X. Power to Paul Robeson under house arrest. Power to Galileo under house arrest. Power to Ibn Haytham under house arrest. Forgive me if I sound obsessed. This is my letter to the 1%. The redistribution of power. The redistribution of power. We want the redistribution of power. We want the redistribution of power. We want the redistribution of power. The redistribution of power until your power is ours. Until your power is ours.
That was Low Key featuring Mia Khalil, Letter to the 1%. It's talking about the redistribution of power and wealth for the peoples of the earth. So yes, I'm wrapping up the Apocalypto hour, everybody. Time has flied. An hour is like a minute. You know, when you're having fun. But anyway, so anybody out there, check out that video, man. It's a really, really, really powerful video. You can go to my Facebook, Apocalypto Hour, and I always post some of these videos that I play on the show during the show. So check it out. And anybody that wants to hit me up, poemcoffeehouse@gmail. Speaking of the redistribution of power, I'm trying to get a coffee house started, a membership coffee house, where pay like a monthly membership fund or yearly or whatever, and then a percentage of those funds and the profits would go towards helping those in need. So hit me up, we could talk about that. But you know, there's a lot of craziness going on in the world, so I think this calls for a prayer for humanity. O thou kind Lord, O thou kind Lord, thou hast created all humanity from the same stock. Thou hast decreed that all shall belong to the same household. In thy holy presence they are all thy servants, and all mankind are sheltered beneath the tabernacle. All have gathered together at thy table of bounty. All are illumined through the light of thy providence. O Dios, thou art kind to all. Thou hast provided for all. Doest shelter all, conferest life upon all. Thou hast endowed each and all with talents and faculties, and all are submerged in the ocean of thy mercy. O thou kind Lord, unite, unite, unite all. Let the religions agree and make the nations one, so that they may see each other as one family, and the whole earth as one home. May they all live together in perfect harmony, 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 you and me in harmony. Yeah, yes indeed. So yes, I'm wrapping up the Apocalypto hour. Yo, Johnny Rodrigo, you want to say something to the people? Johnny Rodrigo, get over here, man. Get over here. You want to say something to the people? No. Say, you are listening to the Apocalypto Hour with Des Dinero. I'm going to leave y'all with a little bit of Joey Badass, Land of the Free.
I see flags.
I see flags. You know, sometimes I think they don't truly understand me, you know? Because they don't. Can't change the world unless we change ourselves. Die from the sicknesses if we don't seek the health. All eyes be my witness when I speak was felt. Full house on my hands, the cards I was dealt. 3 Ks, 2 A's in America. I'm just a black space born out the nebula. And everything I do is say today that's worthwhile. Will for sure inspire action in your first child. I begin my first now. Sometimes I speak and I feel like it ain't my words. Like I'm just a vessel channeling inside this universe. I feel my ancestors invested inside of me. It's like they want me to shoot my chance and change the society. But how do I go about it? Tell me where I start. My destiny rerouted when I chose to follow heart. You chose to follow suit, but tell me what it do for you. Except where you down, now you trapped inside the cubicle they built for us. The first step in the change is to take notice. Realize the real gains that they tried to show us. 300 plus years of them cold shoulders. Yet 300 million of it still got no focus. Sorry America, but I would not be your soldier. Obama just wasn't enough, I need some more closure. And Donald Trump is not equipped to take this country over. Let's face facts, cause we know what's the real motives. In the land of the free is for the freeloaders. Leave us dead in the street to be the organ donors. They disorganized, my people made us all loners. Still got the last names of our slave owners. In the land of the free is for the freeloaders. Leave us dead in the street to be the organ donors. They disorganized, my people made us all loners. Yeah, we can't change the world unless we change ourselves. Die from the sicknesses if we don't seek the help. All eyes be my witness when I speak was felt. Full house on my hands, the cards I was dealt. 3 Ks, 2 A's in America. I'm just a black space born out the nebula. And everything I do is say today that's worthwhile. Will for sure inspire action. Trickery in the system, put my niggas in prison. All our history hidden, ain't no liberty given. We all fit the description of what the documents written. We been lacking the vision and barely making a living. We too worried to fit in while they been benefiting. Every time you submit it, we all guilty admitted. The law won't get you acquitted, but you still ask for forgiveness. Put opiates and syringes, then inject its religion. Now many times I gotta tell you I'm a man in the mission. Many times I gotta tell you I don't need no permission. A human with supervision ain't no living condition. I'm reaching out to my children, just hoping that they will listen. Start a new coalition against corrupt politicians. It's not enough out the prison. Too many murder convictions. Nothing family evicted. Nothing black man the victim. That's as real as it's getting. You should take recognition. In the land of the free is full of freeloaders. Leave us dead in the street to be the organ donors. They disorganized, my people made us all loners. Still got the last names of our slave owners. In the land of the free is full of freeloaders. Leave us dead in the street to be the organ donors. They disorganized, my people made us all loners. Yeah. We can't change the world unless we change ourselves. Die from the sicknesses if we don't seek the help. All eyes be my witness when I speak was felt. Full house on my hands, the cards I was dealt. 3 Ks, 2 A's in America. I'm just a black space born out the nebula. And everything I do is say the day that's worthwhile. Will for sure inspire action in your first child. Yeah.
Have a blessed, blessed day, everybody. One love. You have been listening to the Apocalypto Hour with Des Dinero. Hope to see you next week, God willing. KURE FM 106.1. It's a little past 2 o'clock. And we are going to play a previous broadcast of Indigenous Cafe. Enjoy.